Good day to all my fellow marks out there, and welcome to the wacky and wild world of professional wrestling, the only form of entertainment where the most dominant and menacing faction are dressed in fresh Hanes white t-shirts. Grab yourself a drink and a snack, kick your feet up and relax. You are now listening to the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 19 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. I'm your main host, Mike, no longer on Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Discord, Mike GWP. Hope everyone's had a great week. I know I've had a fantastic week. Let's see what the lads are saying.
Oh, it's me. I'm first, aren't I? I'm Andy. Yeah, Andy. I'm in a great mood. Everything's nice and positive, and Liverpool are 10 points clear of Arsenal. Sorry, Mark.
Name's Brett. Won't be on Twitter for long, but still there for now. There in Blue Sky, that bald bro. And except for the fact that my Giants made me wake up 9:30 in the morning to see them losing in embarrassing fashion in Germany, in overtime, everything else is great. Everything else is swell. American football.
I have to say, ha ha ha, for having to get up at an ungodly hour to watch sport. Welcome to our world.
Yeah. I can't imagine that how you guys have to feel all the time. I mean, for sport, for wrestling in general. I feel your pain a little bit.
Well, to be fair, COVID completely fucked my sleeping pattern, and the fact that I'm fortunate enough to kind of work my own hours most of the time means that it doesn't affect me too much. But anyway, I digress. I'm Wrestling Mark. I am still technically on Twitter, but I'm only going to be there when I'm a bit pissed off with people that are screenshotting my tweets from at WrestlingMarkBSky.social, because they're going to do that because they're weird fuckers over on Twitter. But don't bother following me on Twitter because I'm literally only ever going to comment when I can't bite my tongue any longer, because it's all about Blue Sky now.
It needs a little work.
It's getting there, yeah. Everyone,
Yeah.
Truth Magnum's on there. He followed me. Yeah.
Yeah, Mariah May's joined as well this evening.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going over there. Nana said he's getting them all on there.
Yeah. Fuck it. Like, why not? Why stay on a platform that is owned by a bigot who's emboldening bigots, who's literally taking away every form of a moral compass platform I've ever had? Why would you even bother staying on there? Soon it's just going to be Jobber Nation, Elite Rockers, Elon Musk, and JD from New York sitting there screaming at each other. Because everyone who's got half a brain is going to fuck off and either delete social media or try and find a more positive platform where it's not unbearable misery whenever you like something.
That trio you just mentioned, like JD, Elite, and Jobber, that sounds like just a nightmare, like drinking and chatting up circle in the pub. Like, no, absolutely not. Like,
how bad is it that Jobber is the best of those three people? How bad are they? At least with him, you know where you stand with that fucking dude. He's openly an asshole. The other two tried. JD. Just a prick, but probably doesn't realize he's a prick. And the Elite Rockers all just hide behind the fact that like he tries to not be because he is what he is. But like that app's like burning at the moment, and it's nice to see people get angry that other people are having happiness in their life. So I'm all for that. I'm all for my enjoyment bringing them misery, and more into positive things because Blue Sky, fucking great. AEW again, at least the second week in a row. Every show has more than served its purpose. Dynamite was great. Rampage was just exactly what you want from a recent episode of Rampage, and Collision, third week in a row. I think Collision's been really good.
Yep, and it was a taped Collision as well, which is even more impressive. To be fair, like I managed to avoid spoilers, thankfully, and I think you can all guess which match made me very happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, mate, the fact I didn't know the Outrunners won, I thought they would because of the interaction the previous week when it was the Outrunners stopping Private Party and FTR, and then it goes backstage and you've got the things. It made me think that's going to be the four teams that are in it. Definitely FTR. There may be the Acclaim is the reason they don't. But I thought the Outrunners would win. But I mean, it was still it's the biggest moment of their careers, and it was a good match as well. It wasn't. They showed we can actually go. We're not just here as a gimmick. We can actually entertain you in like a 10+ minute wrestling match very comfortably.
Even if they were just a gimmick, though, the fact is they are over as fuck.
Yeah.
The crowd gets so into it when the Outrunners are out. They're brilliant, and they're great on the mic. They've got the look, haven't they? They've got this kind of gimmick they've created themselves. It's brilliant. And like, one question for everybody: have you got the stuff?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm not qualified yet.
And my favorite. Whenever they do an interview, you get Truth goes into it, and straight away he goes, "Tell him, Turb." I fucking love that. It's brilliant.
You know, it reminds me of. I always think that's what LOD did, didn't they? That's what Animal used to say to Hawk, didn't he? They tell him Hawk, well, and then he just go over his rant and say, "Oh yeah, I love him. I'm so happy they're on pay-per-view. Their first pay-per-view match."
It is. It's brilliant. I'm fucking buzzing for him because they've been around for a while. Truth has been in a fair few tag teams over the years, as was pointed out in the episode of AEW, and for them to this is massive. They're actually on pay-per-view. It's fucking great.
That crowd are going to get so fucking behind them for that as well.
Yeah.
It'll be the biggest crowd they've performed in front of an AEW. That crowd are going to be like, when was it? Was it Full Gear before? When should they have called the audible when the Acclaim of for the Acclaim? When was that?
Grand Slam? Was it Grand Slam?
No Way Out. I mean, oh my God, freaking All Out.
I was saying, what the fuck are you talking about? We're going back to 2001 here.
My brain got fried.
No, they definitely should have called an audible then, and they didn't, and they pushed it out, and it still worked. They still got it, but you've always got that risk that it might not hit the next time.
I mean, that's the thing with things like again, just like you, Andy, I'm a big Outrunner supporter. I am also realistic in saying I don't know how long they'll ride this crest of a wave for. I'm not saying it's short-lived. It might not be, but it might be. So that's why I do feel it might not be a Full Gear win, but I think if you're going to put the tag titles on them, it does need to be sooner rather than later, because there is a chance in 8 to 10 months they're not getting these reactions. They won't be getting these reactions if they haven't got the tag titles in that time. There's a good chance you've got to strike while the iron's hot, and the iron's hot right now.
Totally, and the best thing about all of this is that it's feeding perfectly into FTR, on the verge of getting some incredible heel heat.
Yeah,
when they do fuck the Outrunners over, and it's clearly going that way. They're playing it playing it really well. It's great. We're actually getting tag team stories. Who'd have fucking thought?
Yeah, tag team stories outside of the title picture is again something they've not done now for probably since 2020. When they really had a lot of focus on the tag division. So that's very, very promising. The thing is, it's funny because even on the podcast, probably 2 months ago, 10 weeks ago, we were saying just how bad the tag division felt in terms of they've missed out on the machine guns. Are they actually going to get the Grizzly Gun veterans in? Young Bucks, the perception of them at that point was probably at an all-time low. And then it was just like people, I don't know, FTR getting stealth. They felt in a really negative place. And a few weeks on from that, the Outrunners have blown up. The Bucks have gone away, which is always going to be a good thing. The FTR feel really, really important again. MXM they're just funny as fuck. They are entertaining. That was gold on Collision last night.
That was so fucking good. It was brilliant. That made me pissed, man. It was. I loved it. I don't know what they're going to do as a trio with Johnny TV, or whether he's going to be more of a manager kind of figure, kind of like how Billy Gunn was for the Acclaimed. But whatever what they're doing right now, it makes me laugh every time.
It's funny. It's getting the balance right, because again, you need comedy, you need the lightheartedness, you need the light with the darkness, and they're perfect. And other tag teams of Private Party, again, their stock has obviously just flown through the roof now. LFI, you can have either combination there. They feel like a legitimately threatening tag team, and you want to see them all the time. Top Flight, they're entertaining. They're probably going to find it hard to get much further up the ladder than they are now.
I don't know. I think Top Flight have got I think there's a separate story going to happen, because Leo Rush clearly is looking elsewhere. You've got Action Andretti has been showing a lot of tension between the group because he thinks they should be doing better, and he's now pushing on, talking about wanting singles runs and stuff. So I think you could end up, hopefully get a split in the group. I'll just get them going back to being an actual, just a tag team. And I hope so, because they were fucking brilliant. People forget just how good they were, especially Dante Martin. Some of the stuff he was doing when Darius was injured, when he was wrestling fucking Mox and fucking Bryan. Remember the little feud he had with Team Taz? That was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
the guy can't half go in the ring as well. So, like, I'm very, very big on top flight. I hope they do get the push eventually, but we just need to see more focus on them, which is what we're getting, and it's fantastic. The other one I was going to ask you, lads, was what do you think? Like, it feels like FTR are going to beat House of Black. I would have rather House of Black won.
So like,
yeah. But do you think this is playing into this whole hoo-ha this week with Buddy losing and then Malachi losing? Do you think they're going to lose again, and then this is going to be Julia Hart coming back and giving him a slap and saying, "Come on, you fucking cunts, get your shit together. What are you playing?" That kind of thing.
I think so. I think that's a good shout because I do think that House of Black will be the stepping stone for at least. It might even be a short segue, but from the Death Riders, taking out the mid card to then get into the main eventers. I do feel that House of Black could be the segue for that in between, like the upper mid card team that they basically face. And again, it could be they lose the trios titles to them. But I see there being like a month or so in junction there where House of Black are faces now. They're the ones that try and take out the Death Riders for a bit or something along the lines. I see them crossing paths pretty soon.
I was literally just agreeing, saying that that there has to be something to to come from the last couple of weeks where you have Buddy losing, shaking hands, Malachi basically lying there for Adam Cole to take him out and then giving him a hug and all that. And we had all the hoo-ha on the internet afterwards with people saying he's done and the usual shit we get whenever it's Malachi Black. But there has to be something playing into this because they wouldn't have done it otherwise, would they?
They fucking better be because it was weird. It was like it was the only thing I think I didn't actually enjoy on the whole of AEW's weekly TV. The match was.
It was just strange. The match I thought was quite sloppy at parts. To be honest, it was I still enjoyed it. It just it wasn't what I built it up to be in my mind after people banging on telling me about how good their black and gold stuff was for so long. But whatever, it is.
They're both in very different stages of their. I mean, like Adam now for numerous reasons. I think.
Yeah, Adam Cole's been out for a year. We can't really put
exactly. We've got to take into consideration, man.
That and also that not just Adam Cole's injury, but their black and gold match. I think was 6-7 years ago as well. So different time. But I think with Buddy losing last week and Malachi losing this past Wednesday. And then I don't think it's a coincidence that we got the Julia Hart vignette last night. Like I think I think House of Black is gonna lose on Wednesday. Like you said, her music will hit afterwards, and whether it's bitch slap or something like get them in line or something like that. And then they maybe go for trios gold. But I want FTR to win that match for the simple reason that. I want them in that 4-way tag match I think that's going to start to kick the tires on that eventual feud between them and the Outrunners. Like, get the little interaction between that match. Maybe get when they're double teaming a certain team, they mess up, they accidentally hit the other, you plant the seeds, at Full Gear. I think it's way too early to belt up, Outrunners right now. If you want to, like my opinion, you could run the feud with FTR, and then I say the perfect timing maybe Revolution next year, because I feel like Revolution over the past few years has been as far as key important moments, you could point at Revolution the past few 2-3 years that's the show where just the monumental shift of wins or upsets or just something big happening at that show. So I would give them
I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. I'd go with that. But as we were saying, and my only worry is that if the momentum starts to die down, I really want the belts on them.
It doesn't have to be for a long time. It doesn't have to be for a long time, but it just will be a good time, even if it's for a couple of weeks.
They can have it for a couple of weeks and then get FTR, fuck them over. I'd take that. And like I say, the bonus of all this is that we get a heel FTR, and FTR are brilliant in the ring. They're great. Heel
FTR as champions is what the company needs for a nice 3-month run with it, 4-month run with it.
They're clearly still over, which is why they're always on TV. But personally, I am a little bit bored of the kind of face samey promos. Yeah, and so I would love to see them go full on heel and fuck the Outrunners over. and yeah, just run with it. They would be the biggest heel tag team on the roster at that point.
Yeah. I think one other tag team before we move on. Again, I know we didn't plan to talk about tag teams for so long, but another team I think we can probably add to the tag division. Another team we can add to the tag division sooner rather than later will be MJF and Adam Cole again as a heel.
Yes,
as a heel team.
That's all I want. I want that more than anything, to be honest, because they were so over and they worked so well as a tag team. The top of the card is so heavy right now that you can't really see a situation where, and it's mad saying this about MGF, but you can't really see a situation where any of them are going to be challenging for the title anytime soon.
No.
So put them in a tag team and have them run through everyone. In fact, I take back what I said about FTR being the best heel tag team in the company, because it would be better than you, baby.
Yeah. And that'll be the thing that give them a nice run as a tag team, as a heel tag team, just being bastard. They'll obviously feud with. I'm assuming what we're going to get MJF is strong at the pay-per-view, and Adam Cole turns on strong. Is that probably what's going to happen?
That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah,
I'm very excited about that. I think that's great. And
I thought that's what they want, to be honest.
Run through, and then as soon as they win the tag title or something, then MJF will just be waiting to turn on him eventually, because he will be biding his time. That's all he will be wanting the whole time. And
for the whole run, we can have this thing where they just don't trust each other at all. And you can plant seeds non-stop, and you can have, we're winning, we're together, but they just won't turn the back on each other. They won't give each other that slight chance, and I think that'd work really well as a story, to be honest. You'd get a good run out of that.
Yeah, definitely.
You just look at Wednesday, that with Adam Cole versus Takeshita. Like there's no way the week before the pay-per-view that Takeshita should be eating a one-on-one pin. It's not like with Takeshita taking the pin in the tag match this past month. Like, it's a tag match. The champion, it's okay to pin the champion in a tag match. It's the oldest booking trope ever. Like, you pin the champ in a tag match. We all know what's gonna happen at the pay-per-view, but no way in a singles match this upcoming Wednesday with Adam Cole should he be eating a pin from
no.
and oh my god, like if people are already like have this crazy like just weird just hatred towards Adam Cole now, imagine how worse it's gonna be if he beats Takeshita. Like you might as well just block Jonah already on all the apps if that happens. Like, or you might have to, like, I know he's in Germany, you might have to, like, if we knew anyone in Germany, like do a wellness check on him. Seriously,
it would be a baffling decision.
It's not happening, is it? We know it's not happening, and I don't think Roddy's winning either. So I think it's going to be 2-2 going into it. They're going to face each other off, and that's when Cole's going to fuck Roddy over.
Well, when do you think that match is going to happen, though? What do you think will happen at Full Gear?
No, I think that is. I think we're going to get Roddy against Cole. I'm not convinced we'll get MJF, because he's not even at the shows, is he? He's kind of phoning in from wherever he's doing his latest film.
Yeah,
I'm not even convinced he's going to be on the pay-per-view.
Right.
I'm probably going to be wrong. It's probably going to be a three-way, but I think we end up with them against Roddy Cole, winner faces MJF, whenever, next couple of weeks.
But do you not think it's going to be that? I just envision it'll be Strong against MJF some point, and that's when Adam Cole turns on Roderick Strong and helps MJF. Like the forgiveness thing. Maybe Roddy does win then in the week, and we end up with Roddy against MJF. Maybe they don't want to rush they'll want him back. I'm sure they're going to want MJF back for the pay-per-view. Like a pay-per-view without any of the elite, and then not having MJF on it as well is, well, let's try Hangman on there, but.
Actually, thinking about it, I think you're right. I think I'm completely fucking wrong. I'm talking shite. I think you're right. I think Adam Cole
facing Archer, right?
Yeah, Cole loses. Strong beats Archer.
Yeah, that's my gut instinct.
Archer's not beaten anyone in singles for a long time. No one of any, any kind of size as he. So
no,
I can see Roddy beating Archer, and then we get Roddy MJF. Roddy's telling Cole he's going to fucking take him out for him, for all the shit that he's put him through, and yeah, that's when Cole turns on Roddy, or maybe Cole attacks Roddy.
We've gone into we've kind of like naturally progressed into what we were going to talk about, because obviously Full Gear is just a couple of weeks away now, and we wanted to have a little look at the card so far. And
before we do, Mike,
what we think we're going to get.
What were you going to segue into there, Mike?
Yeah, just dead quick. It's kind of, the moment's kind of gone now, but I just found this interesting the other day. So someone skeeted or tweeted or whatever we're calling it on Blue Sky, talking about Malachi, and you know what he was saying about where does the House of Black go next? And it said this person, can't remember the name, so I do apologise if you're listening. Make yourself known, and I'll put it in a skeet or a tweet. Basically saying that if you notice with Malachi, he's wearing like less and less of like the blackface paint and the corruption as time's going on. So what if over the next couple of weeks we do see the end of Malachi Black and he goes back to Tommy End?
I don't think we'll get that. I think if that is a thing, I haven't noticed it with the face paint. I think it could be maybe Julia sprays him with the mist, and the same thing happens to them guys that they did to her. You know, maybe she re-corrupts them or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be.
It's just a conversation I thought was interesting more than
yeah. No, I don't think he goes to Tommy End though, Willie. I think he's staying as Malachi Black. But there was another thing actually before we move on there. Someone mentioned that they would be a great feud for. Fuck, who did? Wasn't the BCC? Yeah, they said the BCC actually with Julia back. Got someone who could face off with Marina, but they're missing a person. They're a man down. And I was thinking, like I did put the GIF up there, but I was thinking about it seriously. What if Edge comes back? Copeland's going to lead the House of Black, because it seemed like it was going that way before he got injured. He was almost getting sympathy from Brody, sympathy from Buddy, and the Malachi match looked like it was going to be a big turning point for whether whether Cope was going to be corrupted and either take over the House of Black himself, because he did hint at that. He said, I've had these groups myself. They've kind of fucked me over, or whether he was corrupted and went with Christian. But what if he does come back and leads the House of Black?
I'd love that personally.
Be a big kind of shake up for his character, wouldn't it? Rather than just coming back and doing the whole feel good rah 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 thing again. I love that, by the way. I thought it was great. I can't wait for him to be back. But I mean, if he comes back with a bit more of a darker character after his leg break, I think that'd be great.
Bring Gangrel along with him.
He could do like he doesn't have to be like a heel dark. He could be that. I mean, the House of Black are clearly going to be faces, but they're still going to be dark.
Yeah. My only thinking is, I mean, again, the way things pivot so easily, I do think that sooner rather than later, I mean, you're probably talking next summer though, I do think they'll want to have, I think that Tony will want to put the tag belts on Edge and Christian.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to.
And the time is of the essence to some extent with that.
Yeah.
In terms of injuries, age, and whatnot. So, I mean, at some point the patriarchy thing is going to run its course. Not just yet; it's still going good. I'm enjoying it. But in 8 months' time or a year's time and stuff, after he's cashed in his briefcase or whatever it is, or his notepad, then at some point I don't know. Could you see? I don't know, the tag champions, like, could they end up winning the tag titles off of either the heel FTR or MJF and Adam Cole? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was about to ask, like, who would you guys rather them, like Edge and Christian, win the titles off of? I mean, you don't forget about the Bucks. I mean, damn, like I'm still hoping we get that match between the Bucks and Cope and Christian. I mean, that would be amazing. One kind of like a little clash right there.
Yeah, it's funny because you say the patriarchy's still going strong, and it is, but there is signs, there is cracks appearing there with his new favourite son, and Mother Wayne and Nick Wayne looking very unhappy in the week there.
Imagine it. It's like sort of just a further on to what something Mark said before. The difference in a couple of weeks makes, like, in the perception of AEW, like, everything right now just seems so spot on. It seems to be running so smooth. Like, I don't know about you lot. I don't really have a complaint about AEW at the minute. Like, Dynamite, Rampage.
I actually have one. I've got one.
You got
one. Let me go first. Like, I say I have a complaint, but it's not really a complaint, but it is. Like I'm a huge animal guy. Like I love dogs, I love cats. So I hate, watching wrestling and seeing animals in pain and struggling and suffering. So that mental struggle I saw with the Beast Mortos against
I, fu-
Project Strong, like
I fucking knew where
that
you were
hurt
going
my
with
that
that
hurt my
straight
fucking
away.
heart. Like, cause I'm like, listen, he's part beast, part lawyer, but part human being. So that's a three-way pie you got to cut up right there. I don't know however you do, but yeah, man, I didn't like the mental gymnastics that Roddy was playing with Beast Mortals, man. Like Roddy was the heel in that match. I don't care what anyone says. You don't mess with the Beast's mind and makeup like that. You see, Roosh had to get him back in shape in the back, man. Come on, messing up families, messing up a beautiful creature's mind like that.
I love that you implied that lawyers aren't human.
Well, they're not, are they? So.
Well,
No.
I didn't. Okay, shit. I didn't.
No, I'm the same as you lads. I haven't got a complaint at all. Like I really do have a complaint anyway. I enjoy the show. There might be the odd thing that I don't like, but like you're never going to like all these shows. They're not booked for one person, are they? I mean, this idea that a show has to fit you have to like 100% of things in a show. It's never ever going to happen. And if you say it does, then you're fucking lying, because the beauty is everyone's different. Everyone likes different things. Hence why we have a wrestling show that's pretty much a fucking variety show, really.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. The only negative I did have, like I said, was the storyline thing with Chris Stanley, but it was a little nitpick in what has been a fantastic year for AEW overall.
you might, again, I'm not going to get bogged down too long because it's boring and it's been repetitive, but like I have noticed again, it does feel like yesterday was a prime example. 7 matches and the one women's match went about 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm the same in midweek. Actually, sorry, I would have loved the hater Penelope Ford to go longer. I thought they didn't get enough time. That was that. If we are going to nitpick, then that was it. But
it's an age-old thing that I thought they were starting to remedy. Like, it wasn't perfect, but there was definitely signs after Mercedes came in, more high-profile spots. But it just feels the last couple of weeks that, I mean, they're getting segments, but again, I want to be consistent with the way that I've always been. And I've criticised WWE enough for their lack of matches. And I feel that it would be a bit hypocritical if I didn't say that I would like to see more women's matches. I want to see more exposure for it. We can see with how NXT's doing and how well that's being received. Like, again, it's all down to personal preference. And that is a female-dominated roster. And the top of the card is near enough all women. So it just says that if you do give the time to it, you can. And when you've got as many ridiculously good women as AEW do on their roster, they should be getting more than 4 minutes on Dynamite and less than 1 minute on Collision.
I look at it. I look at it as a way, like with the AEW women's division, like the past maybe a few weeks to a month now. I feel like they're kind of in a rotation right now. Like they closed up a few storylines, like back from All Out to Wrestle Dream. So I feel like they're cycling in not just new faces and new talent, like from Penelope Ford to Anna Jay coming back. You have Mina coming back this Wednesday. So yeah, I understand the point that we want more women's matches on AEW TV, absolutely. But I think also at the same time that we have to find like a middle ground. Like, yes, we want more matches, but we've also criticized Tony Khan, rightfully so, for just throwing out matches like last minute or don't have any like meat to it or any substance to it. Like, at least you could say, like, let's say like with the Penelope Ford and Jamie Hayter match, they built that match up for a couple of weeks, so it wasn't like thrown around like last second or the Tuesday before a Dynamite. Yeah, I understand they could have gone more, but then again, you would have also heard that complaint like okay, well, it was a 7-8 minute match. It was a good match, fine for what it was. But then if that match would have gone like, let's say 12, 15 minutes, people would have been like, Jamie Hayter was a former women's champion, but she's struggling against Penelope Ford, who hasn't really done much. So like I said, I mean, yes, we want more time for the women, but I want time for the women also, but I want it to a point where it makes sense, it means something, and it's not just to fill a quota. And it's just, so that's why I think like for Full Gear, I think we're only going to get the Mercedes and Statlander match. I think it's not enough time to build up a like a pay-per-view match for Mariah right now. So, which I don't have a problem with. Like I said, if because they're going to address another criticism of AEW and Tony Khan is that there's too many matches on the pay-per-view. Like, I think right now there's about maybe 5 or 6 with 2 weeks to go. So they're going to hit their sweet spot of, I say, maybe 8 to 9 matches. They still have a couple more to address. So and I think every match is going to mean something on that pay-per-view. But I'm not so worried about the women and their the match times as of right now, because like I said, they're transitioning into newer storylines going forward.
I agree with that. I think good point though.
So they've got there's 6 matches announced so far. So we've got the main event, we've got Mox v OC, we've got Hangman v Jay White, which I still think will get a stipulation added to it in the next week or so. Mercedes Stat, Swerve Bobby, Jack Perry, Daniel Garcia, the 4-way for the tag titles. I mean, it's a really strong card. And so what else? So there's 6 matches. Let's say they go to 9 then. If there's 3 other matches, what do you think they're going to get?
I know it's a bit quick, but I think we get Mariah Mina.
I think we do as well. I don't know what Mariah's schedule's like over in Stardom. I don't know how available she is for too long. The fact she's coming over this week, 2 weeks before the show, I think she's back this week.
And I think
this week.
I didn't notice it at the time, but I know Brett's pointed out the Mina's logo.
You went black and white,
yeah, and it's got a QR code that points to a Tony store. I think she comes back, and my theory is right. Anna Jay and Mariah do a full-on bloodbath. I think Mariah ends up beating the shit out of her, wins clean, whatever, however it goes. And I think Anna Jay sides with Mariah, and I think that Mina comes in at the end, and I think Anna Jay attacks Mina, and Mariah beats the shit out of her, leading to Mariah against Mina at the pay-per-view. And
Tony Storm returns at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I think you have then Anna Jay as Mariah's little sidekick then.
That's a good shout. I think that's a good shout.
Because they've had 2 battles, haven't they? Anna Jay's won 1, lost the other one. They've got this one now. It's going to be, a gimmick. It's a gimmick match, isn't it? So one of them's going to bleed, and I think that is the perfect opportunity for her to end up siding with her afterwards after she loses, and Mina gets the shit beaten out of her.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. So you're saying that's 1. What are your other? If you've got 2 more matches, what else do you think is going to get the card? I think we're getting strong the MJF. I think Polish. I think we're getting.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I think strong via MJF. I tweet back everything I said earlier on about it being Strong Cold. I think you're right. I think that makes perfect sense because
that's MJF's glorious return after not being on TV. He won't show up till then. We get that. I think we get 10 matches because I think we get the 2 matches we've mentioned. I think we get Takeshita Ricochet, and I think we get what was the other one I'm thinking of? There's one other one that's quite clear.
I think we get the Acclaimed against Leo Rush and Shelton Benjamin.
That's interesting.
I have a feeling Shelton Benjamin's going to be part of the Hurt Syndicate after this week. He's clearly wants to be, and the Acclaimed. I think we get the Acclaimed against those 2, and I think that's probably when Caster turns on Bowens, or they could fucking throw us for a complete swerve, and Bowens could beat the shit out of Caster. I'm hedging my. We seem to be pushing for a hell of a lot of heel turns here. I agree with you. I think Adam Cole's turning heel soon. I think Anthony Bowens is going to turn heel soon. I think Leo Rush is technically going to turn heel soon. I think Anna Jay's going to turn on. There's a lot of potential heel turns coming up. Well, we did say we wanted depression, didn't we? We wanted just depressing ending, so why not? Everyone's heel.
What's the other match I'm thinking? There's one other match that feels that they've built and we've just completely neglected that it's going to happen. So we've got
Ospreay Fletcher, maybe?
Who?
Ospreay Fletcher?
Ospreay Fletcher, of course. Yeah, that's definitely happening on the pay-per-view. That's 100% going to happen. And Mark Davis is going to turn on him. Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I know. It's a fucking...
Oh, my God.
It's going to be a dark pay-per-view.
But it should be.
Heel turns, and it's going to end up with the Death Riders murdering 7 people.
It should be dark though. That's what we want.
And
We
Orange
want Orange
Cassidy's going to turn as well. So
We want no, not yet. No, he turns next pay per view. We want Orange Cassidy in a bloody heap at the end. Death Rides have destroyed him, and then this sets in motion the leather jacket Orange Cassidy. I know Dan suggested leather jacket. I am not giving up on that. I think it'd be brilliant. and I'd even go as far as giving him the Hulk Hogan stubble as well, the NWO stubble. Come out Orange Cassidy with the fake charcoal over stubble just for men, and the leather jacket. Go for it.
I actually think that we'll get. Man either goes one of two ways. I'm not sure. I think we either get Tough Light and Action Andretti versus Death Riders. So Claudio Pac and Wheeler. Or
perfect. Because we could have an Action Andretti heel turn. Sorry, carry on.
Exactly, and he turns heel and joins the Death Riders. Yeah. or we get Action Andretti versus Wheeler Yuta 1-on-1. One of those two.
That's not a bad shout, yeah.
Because I think what will happen is I think Moxley will turn around to Wheeler and go, look, you've been a bit dodgy the past couple of weeks. Prove your loyalty, go kill Action Andretti. After he made you look a bit of a mug on Collision. So that's what I think one of the matches will be. Either Action Andretti versus Wheeler or the trios match for the title.
And who are we getting on the 0 hour then?
The Costco guy versus.
Oh fuck yeah! Forgot about that.
Versus,
do you know what?
QT.
I know he's got a lot of slag in the Costco guy. Like, and look, it's not for me. The content I think is the most brain dead content of all time. I have no idea how they have a following, but that guy has put a fucking shift in promoting this. Fair play to him. He's done more of a fucking job promoting this match than most wrestlers do.
Yeah. Listen, Andy, like, speaking of things that are brain dead, like, you've seen what's happened in my country the past week as far as brain dead is very popular here in America.
Maybe
so that's why I think it's as big of stuff like yeah, I don't think I have to say that part out loud, but yeah, you get what I'm going.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, there's a reason people find someone going double chunk chocolate cookie, boom, actually entertaining.
Listen, here's what I want from the match. I want that what do they call him? I want the Rizzler to come beat up Big AJ's son. Smack him up the head with the big ass fucking chicken bake, bam, right across the skull, boom.
Oh fuck yes!
Yeah.
I actually think I hope we don't, but I think we're gonna get AJ's son coming in and hitting a move because I seen that he did that on one of the indies recently, and I was like, oh no. But what I want is QT to just destroy him. And yeah, nice try, mate, but you're not a pro wrestler anymore. QT is. If QT loses against a fucking TikTok dude who eats chicken fucking bakes every day, I'm sorry, but that's fucking dog shit.
Well, I mean, well, here's the thing. Like, the dude was a former professional wrestler, at least at that, you know.
Yeah, I suppose. Like, whatever, it's gonna do it. It's gonna do its job. And QT is actually a damn good wrestler. He's for how do you? What's the nicest way of putting it? He's basically a fucking excellent jobber. He can get a good match out of anybody, and that's his level. And he's very good at it. So I have no doubt that it'll actually be an entertaining 5-minute match, or as entertaining as you can expect from a guy who spends all of his day looking at shit in Costco. But you know.
Nah, so 5 minutes. No, give him a 20-minute masterclass.
Oh, please no! Don't put that into the world, man. Got positivity in the moment.
Listen, I'm gonna be there, so I want to see all the moves. I want to see they better bring out the chicken bake, the cookies, everything, and the damn. Listen, if his son is at ringside, he better be a hooper. Someone better pull the blade out.
Are we
blood? They'll have the Rizzler like hit him with a couple of punches. He rolls by the announce table. He comes up looking like damn CM Punk at All In.
No. For anyone listening, we do not endorse children using razor blades.
They step in the ring or around the ring. They're not children anymore. You gotta stop babying them.
Listen, we don't want to match transit instance in
They'll be fine. Gotta let kids have fun these days. That's the problem, man. Kids don't
have
fun these days. Nah. Just imagine, like he gets in with a big ass chicken bake over his head, and that opens up a little cut. Like,
But whatever, there's an audience out there who are going to like it. The guy's putting eyes on the show. Fair play. It is what it is.
yeah,
It's only going to be realistically 5-10 minutes max, isn't it? Of the
Yeah.
0 hour. So whatever, I don't care. And who else are we going to get on the 0 hour anyway? I think we have to get Harley Cameron on there as well somehow, because her momentum at the moment's fantastic, and they need to keep this up.
Who do you put her against?
John, I don't know. I'd even take a rematch against Thunder Rosa and just have a get beat again. Just, I don't know. It's entertaining, wasn't it? It was good. With the phone.
She could be to AEW what Chelsea Green is to WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, she's carved out a nice lane for herself in WWE. As like she could wrestle, but she's a great comedy act with her and Piper Niven. But listen, she could be that for AEW. Or if you want to show off like her like maybe even kind of tease her as a face in a sense, put her up against Penelope Ford. They'll have a good match.
Yeah. We've got 2 weeks left, haven't we? So are we going to get a hater match?
If it is, it'll be on the pre-show, I think.
I hope not. I hope not. I hope they can squeeze one onto the main card.
We're already almost at capacity.
Yeah. I don't care. I want 90 million matches. Give me them all.
Mate, like this is, again, it's a little bit different now. We have so many other shows, but when it was just the 4 or 5 shows, like it was mad that people complained about that to me. I didn't understand like how you could like be annoyed that you're paying $50 and the shows you're getting like basically you're getting 5 hours of content. Like what's wrong with like, especially for a fucking American, there's no offense, Brett, but like you, this is still, it's 11 p.m. for you. Like I'm not complaining. It's 5:30 in the morning. I've ordered a McDonald's breakfast here and I'm sitting there just fucking drinking whiskey and it's broad daylight outside. Like and I'm not complaining. So I've always find it kind of mad that people complain. Like, and like, I get it now. When you're up to 8 or 9 a year, like I get that every single one doesn't need to be 5 hours, but at the same time, it's just Full Gear. Full Gear, like it's been so good so often. Like I love Full Gear. I always have raised expectations for Full Gear. Like I do for All Out, I do for Full Gear, I do for Revolution. I don't for Double or Nothing because it often slightly underwhelms in my opinion. For some reason, just happenstance, I suppose. But I want this show to have 12 matches. I don't give a shit. If I'm sitting there and it's 3:30 in the morning and I'm like, shit, there's still 6 matches to go. I'm very happy.
Well, my expectations are through the roof for this, to be honest now, because Brett's convinced me that a 10-year-old kid's going to fucking play it.
You're going to do it for the boys in the back, man. You're going to do it for the boys.
Look, so we've got 6 matches. We're hoping Takeshi Ricochet is getting added. Strong v MJF or something in that dynamic's definitely going to get added. Will Ospreay v Carl Fletcher is definitely getting added. There really should be. If you're having a 9-match card, you need to make it 10 to have a second women's match on there. And I think that's going to be Mariah against Mina. That is the 10-match card, I think. Then the pre-show, I think you'll get something. I think the 0 hour, last 0 hour had a couple of decent matches on it. Jericho's going to be there somewhere. It's Jericho. He's not going to not be there to some form. It's Jericho. And then again, you can have, that's where Shelton and what do we say, the tag match?
I don't think Jericho's on the 0 hour. Or are you talking about the main card?
No, but I'm thinking how he doesn't go off. He's on the main card. I don't know where he fights or what he does.
I don't think there's a spot at the moment. There's not a match that makes any sense unless they're going to do
a couple of times. There's a spot that makes sense, and he found a way. I think he's on the card somehow. Like again, I don't know. When's he fighting?
It could be the conglomeration against the learning tree. It could be that.
Yeah, make that a false count anywhere, no holds barred nonsense. Because they have that at Full Gear usually. They usually have one of their matches. Have one of them, no DQ, falls count anywhere, and let them that can be like the light-hearted match before the dark main event. It's fun. It can go 30 minutes. People can jump off stuff. It can be brutal. People can blade. Everyone's a winner.
What do we say is going to be the last 2 matches then? Because I'm trying to think if it would be the perfect placement. Because they usually do fit one of these matches into the fucking dead spot, don't they? So. Would you say Ospreay? Would you say Ospreay?
I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah, Ospreay, fucking Fletcher, or Takeshita Ricochet, and then the main event, because after those two matches anyway, the crowd are going to be fucking dead. So
Yeah.
they're going to need like you say, a fucking all over the shop match with just fucking random shit happening just to fucking, let them get back ready for Orange Cassidy, John Moxley.
I don't know. I think you got to put a little bit of a slower pace match before the main event. Like, I don't know. Maybe you could put the 4-way tag before that. I mean, you'll get a good.
I think the crowd would suffer though, because like with a slower pace match, I mean, that's why we had this whole fucking bullshit with fucking Britt Baker and Mercedes, because it was a slow pace match, and the spot it was in, the crowd were just exhausted, and we had the same. I can't remember who it was, but we had the same in the last pay-per-view. I don't know. I think they need something in there that's just not going to really matter much, if that makes sense.
They did it a couple of years ago. I think it was a match with Sting, and I'm sure Sting. I might be wrong. The Hardys were in it, and it was like a Falls Count Anywhere match, and they hadn't built to it perfectly by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm sure it went on second last at Full Gear before MJF, Moxley maybe, or I might be completely making this up. And it just worked a treat. It was so good. It was exactly what you needed. It was high octane nonsense. There were lots of stunts. It gave the crowd a little like fucking a dose of like energy, I suppose.
I just don't want the Outrunners having anything taken away from the match. I want the crowd fired up for them. In fact, I'd go open with that, to be honest.
What with the
I'd
tag
be
match?
alright with that.
Yeah, with the 4-way, yeah, I'd open with it. Have the crowd fully, energized. They're not fucked yet. No one's going for a piss yet. Just all ready for the Outrunners.
But they have to win then. The Outrunners have to win the titles then.
Well, not necessarily.
Because otherwise, if Private Party retain them, I feel that it would be a flat start to the show.
I suppose, yeah.
Maybe I'm overthinking that. I don't know.
I don't know. Placement's always difficult, and usually they're quite good with it. So I'm sure he'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I always go back to that one when he had QC Big Show, and everyone was like, "Why the fuck is that even on the card? And why is it on so late?" And looking back, it was perfect. Because it gave us that break, didn't it, in between CM Punk's first match and was it Kenny Omega?
Christian.
Christian, that's right, yeah, and the Adam Cole debut and Bryan Danielson debuts. So because they needed the crowd fucking fired for that, and it worked so well. So
yeah,
hopefully they'll work out some good pacing with this.
But anyway, it's fucking excited anyway.
I can't. It's going to be great, isn't it? Already the card's looking good, and the matches that we've just kind of fantasy booked would just be incredible if any of them make the card. So it's as usual with AEW, the pay-per-view is going to be fantastic.
And speaking of fantasy booking, we were going to touch on something last week based on interactions on the old social media about our fantasy matches that we've not, our dream matches, shall I say, we've not actually had in AEW, because when I was listing them and other people getting involved, my God, there were so many of them.
It's ridiculous.
What have you got? Go on, spill. What first time matches never seen before? What matches in the next 12 months do you expect and want to see?
Omega versus Buddy.
Oh fuck yes, that's the one.
I mean, first off, it's Omega versus Swole-Mega. So there you go.
That's got I'd do that Grand Slam. If everything goes well with Kenny's comeback, I'd build to that Grand Slam.
That match would just be so fucking good.
Oh yeah. For me, it's Hayter Mercedes. I've said that for a long time, but that's the dream women's match.
Yeah.
Mercedes and Athena.
That's all in, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yep. I said this earlier on a TikTok live. I think it was not an accident that those two women were at the All In press conference when they announced the show.
100%.
That is, mark this right now. That's going to be your main event at All In Texas.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
And remember,
there are so
Athena's from Texas, so
there are so many Omega matches that they need to run through them quickly, because you just don't know with people's health. But the match I'm looking forward to more than anything is Omega v Swerve at some point.
Yeah,
I cannot wait for that match. I don't know when it happens. I hope it happens. I don't know how they get to it, but I'm so up for that match.
Speaking of Swerve MJF.
Yeah, that was the next one I was going to say. Yeah,
That's
honestly,
gonna happen. Yeah. Oh, there's so many because now
there's so many people that are intertwined in these matches. Like MJF, Omega, Swerve, Takeshita, Okada, Ricochet, like there's Jay White, even Hangman. There's so many people that like they've not faced so many people like said there like that. Those matches will just be stuff that you really, really want to fucking see.
Fucking Okada against all of these people.
Yeah.
Fucking. There's too much. I get Okada, Shelton Benjamin. Give me that. That'd be a cracker.
Oh god damn. Oh, and right now I think we can all agree. Shelton Benjamin better be in the Continental Classic.
Yes.
Like,
I look forward to. I'm assuming sooner rather than later. We'll touch on that probably very soon because, I mean, they could announce the brackets any time. I suppose in the next like 2 to 3. I suppose it'll probably be straight after Full Gear, wouldn't it? But we'll definitely have to have a look ahead to that and predict our gold and our blue leagues and see how near any of us get.
I'm still praying that they fuck the belt off and it's just going to be a trophy.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need.
Once a year.
I'll touch on it real quickly, but I mean, when we do like a kind of classic like specific show, I'll bring it up again. But like, I'll spoil it right now. For Continental Classic, whenever the groups are announced, the final needs to be Takeshita versus Okada.
Yeah.
You have your Continental Champion, you have your International Champion. You make that a unification match because it'll be one less belt. Because, like I said, the Continental Champion doesn't need a belt. You have a unification title with that belt, which will only leave the show with 2 mid-card titles, which is fine. The winner gets a trophy, and you know what you call this new title, the Continental Championship and the International Championship together. Ladies and gentlemen, you call it the Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, fucking
creative idea for a title.
You know what? I'm really curious though. I'm really curious to know: did WWE trademark Intercontinental Champion? Do they own that name?
I'm just having a look now to see if any other company in the world have used that because it's WWE. They wouldn't let anyone else.
Am I going crazy? Was there never an Intercontinental Champion in New Japan?
I'm just typing in very slowly here.
Yeah, they do. Apparently they do own the trademark.
Damn! It would have been the most hilarious thing on whether it be Twitter or Blue Sky just to see the reaction. It would have been. But I'm all for the idea of like, if it is those two in the final, you do a unification match, like, combine the 2 belts. You only need one, honestly, and it should be a trophy for the winner going forward. Kind of like how NXT did their Heritage Cup.
It should just be like the G1, shouldn't it? It's a trophy.
Yeah.
Maybe you get a title shot at the end of it or something, but there's no need for a belt. That was only done for Eddie, and it's just a bit pointless now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. We got any more fantasy matches?
I'll go with a bit of a swerve. No pun intended. I really want to see Brian Cage versus Brody King.
I wouldn't mind that.
Beef.
Yeah, that's a good one, though.
Yeah.
Lance Archer versus Brody King.
I want to see Hobbs Brody King.
Oh, just a super heavyweight division. Fuck it.
The Outrunners against the Young Bucks. Give me that. I think the Young Bucks would have a fucking field day with that. I think they
would. Yeah, they'd be great with it.
I mean, damn. How about you got Bobby Lashley versus Brody?
Ooh, yes. What about one that may happen if my out there dog shit prediction comes true? Orange Cassidy against Darby Allin.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's wild that we haven't had that one yet.
I know, yeah. Well, there's a lot, isn't there? There's a lot of guys who've never been heel, who will never have fought each other.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way we would have got that really is in a Continental Classic kind of situation.
That's crazy. That's never happened.
Statlander versus Hayter.
That'd be a cracker. That actually, yeah.
Yeah, like
you could say hated against half the roster, to be honest, because there's a lot of new ones, new wrestlers who've been arrived since, and the division now compared to when she got injured is transformed. Yeah, so there's so many matches there you could throw out.
Did we get Hater versus Willow yet?
No, I'm just
Not
thinking
that I know
about that
of.
one. No, we
Ooh,
haven't.
Goddamn.
There's loads. Give me Will. I know people are a bit not that high on her at the moment, but give me Willow Camille. I think that'd be a good one. And it
I think her time is up very soon with Mercedes.
I think a lot of people will have a lot more they will have extra incentive to cheer on Willow if they needed any, obviously.
Yeah. I think that again, it's gone off a bit of a tangent, so I do apologize. But I think that again, like I don't know who said it on Twitter, but it was so true that it took a while for them to find Swerve's sweet spot with Nana, didn't they? Like he obviously had the mogul fucking embassy before. He was just there with the weird dude with tats all over him and the
what was his name? That fella?
Version of Brock Lesnar. He was with Bryan Cage for no apparent reason. He was just wandering around aimlessly doing some odd things until they found him with Nana. And I feel that with Mercedes, I feel that like she does work better when she has some muscle there, but I just don't feel it's worked with Camille at all. It just doesn't feel like the right dynamic. And I'd kind of hope that's where Megan Bain comes in, but we'll see.
They booked themselves into a corner with it, didn't they, though, by having Camille lose so quickly. And it's like she's lost now, so the whole aura is gone. That's why it was bizarre putting her against Statlander in the first place. It was. We did say that ourselves in regards to when we were possibly booking Jamie Hayter against her. It was too soon for her to take a loss, and she's took the loss now. So any credibility that she had is already knocked massively. So
absolutely.
Maybe Megan Bain is the fix for this situation. She comes in and doesn't lose within the first couple of months and builds this kind of aura up.
Yeah, that's where I think they're going. I think you see the obvious tension between Mercedes towards Camille, and I think you're going to see Camille about to turn on Mercedes. The crowd's going to get excited, and then boom, Megan Bain will hit the ring for the save.
What about Stokely as Mercedes manager? Do we think that's going to happen? They're doing a lot of stuff on the socials together.
Did you watch the Spice the drink?
Yeah,
it's great.
It was brilliant.
Really good.
I'm convinced Stokely.
Well together. There's a lot to be said. They've got great chemistry together.
I think Stokely could work well with anybody. I think he could make anything work. That fella. You could give him the most dog shit fucking scripted idea ever, and he would make it work.
He's amazing. Like he can work with anyone. He can get he's just got this natural charm, this cheeky. There's just something about him that he could get anyone he's working with over. He's fucking brilliant. Another one that they've dropped the ball with massively over there because he's like, how can you not see how much charisma, personality, and just how much he's got about him, how much value he can bring to the screen is mad.
Here's one then. Who on the roster? Sorry, this is a bit of a random one. Who on the roster do you think struggles with the charisma side of things? Who you would stick Stokely with because they have what it takes? They just need a bit of a mouthpiece.
Top Flight.
That's a good one.
Top Flight be a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Like that. I mean, Stokely fills that charisma void that Top Flight is lacking a little bit. I mean, Andretti has it a little bit, but I mean, as far as Dante and Darius go, like I feel you put Stokely in there with them, I think it'll up their stock immediately. So that's a pairing I would like to see maybe in the future.
Can I who is again? I don't watch Ring of Honor. Who is the mouthpiece for STP?
It's Shane. It's Shane Taylor.
He's the mouthpiece.
They're
when they came out on Collision, they felt good. They felt like I like their presentation. They felt serious. They felt like a threat. Trish Adora feels like she's really got a space there.
Yeah, like they're fine the way they are. They don't need any additions like as far as the mouthpiece because no, Shane Taylor can do the talking for the group. I mean they're perfect as they are in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I think I don't think they're moving anywhere from Ring of Honor. If as we spoke about last week, there is a TV deal on the horizon. They're perfectly placed right now.
Who is booking Ring of Honor at the moment?
I think it's still fucking Tony, isn't it? With a bit of help from a few others.
Didn't Stokely do it for? Wasn't he quite heavily involved?
I heard it was Stokely and oh my god, man, I think Jerry Lynn is also heavily involved as well. If I remember correctly, I know, yeah, Stokely and Jerry Lynn, if I'm correct.
Yeah, there's not one booker, is there? Like as in one person like booking everything, or one team book everything. They book segments, don't they? So they all do their own, like they have their own segments that they're kind of running with, and then they, or for at least from what I've read, and then they take him to Tony, and he's like thumbs up, or maybe he needs a bit more work.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think Christopher Daniels is doing a bit of it as well.
Yeah, him as well. I just wonder when Scott D'Amore's non-compete is up, if he would help out. But I mean, he has Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling now, so I'm not sure about that.
I hope not, because the first thing he'd want to do is bring Bully Ray into fucking Ring of Honor.
Oh fuck no!
That I have a lot of excitement about the Ring of Honor TV deal. Bully Ray would kill any excitement I have.
Yeah.
Well, he's just signed a Legends deal, hasn't he?
Thank fuck for that.
Over there. So there goes all his objectivity.
I'd give it to Bryan Danielson. I'd just say to Bryan Danielson, here's the keys to the kingdom. You do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, pretty much. Just while we're talking about factions, what does everyone think? I don't mention this in the week, but what does everyone think of a AEW leg of UE, United Empire, being Ospreay, Davis, Ricochet, and Hobbs?
I think we would be better talking about that in about 2 weeks, because I think we all pretty much agreed that we think Davis is going to turn on with Ospreay.
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think United Empire.
I think that the Aussie Open will be added to what is starting to sound like quite a strong tag division. Quite heavy on the heels, but yeah.
I think that United Empire is done until such a point when Will Ospreay either turns heel or the other guys turn back to the good side, to the blue sky side.
Yeah, using Twitter as a synonym for heel would be great. I just thought it's consistent. If Mark doesn't turn, I actually think that should be the new Yuri. To be honest, but
at least they worked out a way of getting Hobbs out of the Callis family, because not that I actually didn't mind him being in the Callis family. I actually quite like the way the Callis family's shaping up, but there was so many people fantasy booking Hobbs as joining the Hurt Syndicate, so he's out there now. He can do whatever he wants now, can't he? Whether he stays face or not, who knows? I'd like to see him on his own for a bit though, because I don't want to get lost in the not lost in the shuffle. That's the wrong way of putting it. But more, I don't want him to be behind Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. I want him to be kind of out there, kind of winning matches.
I'd give him the Brody spot for the Classic this year.
That's a good shout. Yeah, I'd definitely have him in the Classic if he's fully fit and good to go again. I mean, he wouldn't be wrestling, would he, if he wasn't fully fit? It's not like a footballer where they might go and do like half an hour at the end of a game. So yeah, I'd stick him in the CC, definitely. Yeah.
In that Brody spot, like 7 points.
You could do also. You put him in the CC. Whatever matches he's happening, you could cut to MVP in the back watching him on the TV.
Yeah. Maybe they try and recruit him and he says no, and that puts him in a feud with one of them guys.
Bobby Lashley Hobbs match. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, yeah. Shelton Benjamin Hobbs would be good as well.
Shelton Benjamin versus the world, pretty much.
Honestly, he's so good, isn't he? Like I'd forgotten how good he was, and if someone asked you how old he was, if you asked 100 people how old Shelton Benjamin was, I think you would be like Les Dennis doing that on every answer, because no one would know. There's no way anyone's guessing he's 49.
It's insane, man. Like,
he looks like he's about fucking 30. 35 at a push. There's no way he looks fucking 49. And he moves like someone who's in the fucking late 20s. It's insane that he was just like another guy over there for so long, that they was just in the background, not really getting much. Especially when you hear his interviews since, where he said, he was ready to go and stuff, and they just didn't have anything for him. Fucking crazy.
But I mean, Andy, that makes no sense though. I mean, there's something for everyone to do on WWE though. Nobody sits in catering, waits around, does nothing. Everyone gets enough TV time. Everyone gets enough pushes, enough title shots. It's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for everybody. It's
You
only a
sound like you.
it's only a Tony Khan problem. I mean, it's only an AEW and Tony Khan problem that it's an issue there with wrestlers not getting enough screen time or enough ring time as well.
If I'm going to take what you just said at face value, I'm expecting you to put up one of them posts later that you've got the ID contract. That ball, bro. WWE ID.
Well, damn, man, just spoil it for the world, why don't you? Oh god, but
You and Jack Cartwheel.
What's his actual name? Like, it's not Jack Cart. Yeah, when I saw his name, I was just surprised. I was like, Jack, what? And then people told me it was Jack Cartwheel. I was like, oh, okay.
My favorite one this week was Cappuccino Jones, and like everybody said it. Like everyone said it, but it does just sound like Taz calling Nana a nickname or something with his coffee. Hey, look, Cappuccino Jones over there.
It was a meme, but did I see that Fuego del Sol's got a WWE ID contract?
No, someone was taking the piss. They did when Cody was Fuego Dos, and it was him. It's so like Cody has got an ID contract. It was someone taking the piss. I'm surprised they didn't do fucking Infinito or whatever Bryan Danielson's luchador was. Did you all see the picture of Bryan Danielson sat in his hot tub there with his shaved head? He's getting ready. He's getting ready to come back.
Oh yeah.
I don't. As we've said before, I don't believe anything he says ever.
Nope.
So I would not be surprised if he doesn't need surgery. He's just took a bit of time off, and I hope we don't because it's too soon. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the pay-per-view in 2 weeks' time.
Remember what he said a long time ago. Remember, he said Cody taught him how to lie.
Yeah, I love lying. Cody Rhodes taught me on it.
Yeah, it's the best. I don't care. It's the best wrestling gif ever.
But it is. It's great, isn't it? Just that look on the picture.
I mean, I forgot someone posted on Twitter today, but someone was like, "Yeah, not ready for bald-headed Danielson."
Yeah. Oh, it could be so good,
you can just imagine it, can't you?
Leads the fight, not necessarily being the main man, but just maybe just comes back and kind of gives everyone a push, and a boost, and he rallies the troops. Could be like an Avengers Endgame moment. All the guys all ready to go. Even those guys at the fucking in the parking lot that everyone thinks is shite.
Yeah, because if you were to look at it from a kayfabe sense, if you're them mid-carders and you're like, shit, Dead Riders keep beating the shit out of us, and then boom, Danielson comes back, that's a huge boost.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure he's not going to be the main character this time. He'll come back and just support guys and stuff, and it'd be great.
And a lot of people, when they always bring up that, they're beating up these losers, the mid cards. Like, do they forget what happened during the WCW invasion when they were beating up all the? They weren't beating up all the WWE main eventers like day one. They built up to those guys. Like, it's the lower. You beat up the lower on the card guys first, and then you work your way up to like the Undertakers, the Kanes, the Angles, the Jerichos, and guys like that. I mean, that's how you build up their dominance and their reverence as a dangerous group going forward. If you go through the top of the card guys first, then you're gonna burn through this story quicker than you want to. So in a way, it's them. They're pacing themselves before they move up the food chain.
No, 100%. It's I always take it back to the NWO and initially in WCW, and the reason that worked so well was because they went through everybody. They started with the low guys. They didn't come out and attack like Macho Man straight away. They came out and went through. I remember the show ending with Dave Taylor and Chris Adams trying to fight the NWO off. Chris Adams in a full fucking karate gi trying to fight the NWO off, and like it was shit, but it was good because it just shown they were beating everyone. And then when DDP turned up at the end, that's the crowd went crazy because you got here we go. That now someone's gonna fucking do something. And it can be the making of people, because a lot of people probably are too young or don't remember that like DDP was made because of the NWO. His feud with the NWO was what turned him from a mid-card guy into a fucking main eventer, and the crowd got so behind him. So like that, that could be any one of these guys on the roster there waiting for this moment.
Exactly, man. We gotta let it cook a little bit, man. But for whatever reason, AEW and Tony, they don't immediately get the benefit of the doubt, unlike Triple H and WWE. And I brought this up.
Fucking hell, yeah.
I brought this up. On TikTok Live earlier, that why, and I'll ask you guys this question, like why is it that Triple H gets the automatic pass, like as far as like let it cook or let it play out for stuff that he didn't build up himself, like the Bloodline, the Judgment Day and stuff like that. That stuff started under Vince. That's still going on. But when Tony tries to build up something new, something fresh, it's immediately after a week or one episode, it's like, oh, this is trash. This is in the dumps. Like everyone here's a loser and whatnot.
It's mad. People want stories, and then they were cry-arsing last week because half these stories aren't being wrapped up, and it's like, what's going on? This is going to drag out, lads. Just let it play out.
Yeah, a little patience doesn't hurt, but
Yeah, I mean, like, look, we don't want stories that last for 4 years, like the Bloodline, but at least give it 6 months.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't care what anyone says. This past Friday at the end of SmackDown, when all the original Bloodline members having the ones in the sky, everyone's going crazy. I'm watching that at home, and I'm like, I didn't care. I'm like, dude, it's some fucking 5 years. Can we get something else? Can you put pen to paper on something new?
Never happened. They'll milk that shit forever now.
Yeah.
Right, so on to the questions anyway, lads. We had a few from last week, like I say. We're a bunch of twats, and we didn't read them out, so we'll do it now. We had one from Punish Bidoof. Was it the right move to belt up Private Party? I'll go first.
Good question. Brett, do you want to take it first?
I say yes in this regard. Like, I still link their title win to Moxley's like indirect challenge to the Day One guys. Like, if you remember when he started this crusade, with the Death Riders, like he hated the fact that a lot of the Day One guys were he felt they were too complacent, that they were just happy to be there. In a sense, like they've been there five years or so, and they haven't advanced. They haven't made themselves better, or they've been too relaxed. So in a roundabout way, I still say Moxley's, journey with the Death Riders, it brought a sense of seriousness into the Private Party, like gave them a sense of urgency to look at themselves and say, yeah, it's been 5 years and we still haven't reached our goal. We haven't reached the mountaintop. So, it put pressure on themselves, like it forced Isaiah in a way to issue that final challenge that if they didn't win, they would split up as a team. But of course, they came through. You saw the crowd pop. You saw the investment, and I think I'd say it's the right call for them to belt them up now.
I would have said no, but like initially, I wouldn't have gone with it because I would have preferred Top Flight to get that spot. But it's clearly worked, and the match was fantastic. So, in hindsight, you have to say yeah. I don't know. I still think the build was a little bit sloppy. It was quickly thrown together, but whatever, it worked and it was a good match. We actually have stories coming out of it now, which is good. So, like initially, no, but yeah, in hindsight, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of echo that sentiment. I can't really say too much else to it. I didn't want it to happen. I mean, it was nothing against them, and I was happy for Private Party to get the titles. Just not at that point after what I felt like such a, oh, look at this, we're going to make Private Party tag champs without really the story to really make me want to like get my teeth sink into the story, bite into the story. There wasn't enough bite for me. But again, it's worked. Like they feel elevated immediately. The match itself was brilliant, and I'm fully behind their little run and however long it goes on for now. I just hope that they're given a few successful title defenses before the belts go on to someone else.
Unless the Outrunners win, in which case I'll be quite happy for him to not have any successful title defenses.
That was kind of my reason, I think, why I didn't want Private Party to win it, because I felt that because they're not going to, because Outrunners aren't going to beat Private Party, I don't think, because I don't think you'll go from faces. I mean, then maybe that's why they've done a 4-way, so faces can beat faces without directly beating them. I don't know. But I think that I was so behind Outrunners having it hot shotted onto them before FTR turn on them. That was kind of in my head. That's what I wanted, and it's what I thought was going to happen. So I was a bit surprised by someone who isn't me thinking differently.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I was. We have one from.
I'm happy with it.
We have one from Lomax on the Discord. He says, "Do we think Tony Khan will ever get revenge on Jack Perry for the punch way back when?"
Oh god, nah. I think he got his fill of being an on-screen character, getting physical, and I think I genuinely believe him when he says that he doesn't want to be on TV anymore. I mean, because let's be honest. I mean, I love Tony Khan. I think he's it's a lot of wrestling fans don't want to admit, but he is so much relatable to us wrestling fans that we want to give him credit for. So I think I genuinely believe that. I don't think we're gonna see him get physical in AEW. I mean, if not never, at least not anytime soon going forward.
He did. He said that again this week, didn't he? That he has no interest in any of it. He's not training. He's not doing anything. He has no interest in doing anything like that. It was clearly a one-off. So no, I don't think he is at all.
And I hope he's not. I watch wrestling basically because of him to some extent now, because I wouldn't be watching it if he hadn't created AEW, because I wouldn't have been able to suffer the other shit that was being offered to me at that point. So I have a lot of time for him, but yeah, I don't like it when he's on screen. He just leaves himself kind of open to a lot of criticism, and he's just not natural at it. It's not what he's good at. So yeah, just you're a billionaire, chill.
Which is totally fine. I mean, listen, not everyone's built for the ring. Like, dude, listen, you're a genius. You're a great businessman. You got a shit ton of money in this past contract deal. You're gonna get more when the Ring of Honor TV deal gets announced. I mean, dude, you know your lane. Just stick to your lane and let the wrestlers wrestle, and you run the show, man.
We have another one from Rich on the Discord. He says, "What are our thoughts on the regularity of the overruns AEW now has? Because it's pretty much every week, isn't it?"
Well, that's the thing. If it's like almost every week, I don't even notice it.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the same. I don't. It's just part of it now, isn't it? It's like the show ends roughly. For me, it's like roughly 3:00, maybe 3:10. That's when it ends, and it's just a thing now.
It's not the biggest deal in my opinion. Like the average they go over maybe 5-7 minutes over. And I don't, at least for the longest though, I don't think it's like feels forced or anything. I mean, I think if you've been watching the show weekly and regularly like we do, then you should you probably don't even notice it yourself, or you're used to it by now. So I don't think it's a big deal at all.
We have one from Gav. He's coming to Burning Heart actually the weekend. Lad. He says, after the recent Shelton matches, who else do you think the WWE have wasted the prime years of? That's a good one.
Are we talking about recently or like overall?
No, he just says, who do you think they wasted the prime years of, with the Shelton Benjamin matches recently being, a prime example of someone?
I'll say, well, I think since Triple H took over, I think they've been wasting Austin Theory. Honestly, I mean, you could say what you want about Vince, but I mean, he does have a knack for finding that next young guy, in a sense, like, or finding something in someone and running with it. And say what you want about Vince, like, I think he was booked great. I think Theory was booked great under Vince. I think he looked strong. I think he had a great look, great presence. But ever since Triple H took over, it's just like whatever push or whatever direction he was going to, it just came to a screeching halt. Especially like after him beating Cena at WrestleMania 39, it was like they didn't really have any. He didn't have any long-term plan for him going forward, and now he's like stuck in tag team limbo with Grayson Waller, and it's like, Grayson Waller, who pretty much looks like an unfinished creator wrestler from WWE 2K. Like I don't care for the.
So does Austin Theory.
Well, yes and no, but I don't know. I find, like I said, whatever it was, like I think he did just fine or pretty damn good under Vince. But for whatever reason, Triple H just has no need or doesn't want anything to do with him. Like I said, he put him in tag team purgatory in a sense with Waller. But yeah, I say Theory. You could throw a Montez Ford in as well. I mean, I not this past year, but I think was it last year when he was in the Elimination Chamber where he showed out, had a great performance. I mean, I thought, and a lot of people thought that was going to be the start of his singles push. Like, here's his chance now, but it's never happened. And if you've seen his past couple promos or hearing, from the dirt sheets or whatever, like Ian Dawkins might not be long for the company going forward. So I'd say Theory and Montez Ford, I think, have been wasted their prime years.
I mean, yeah, you took it off me. Montez Ford was who I was going to say, because he's fucking great. He's got the look. He's brilliant in the ring. He's got the whole package, and it's weird that they've not used him a lot more. He was, who I was going to say, because he's the standout person in that regard, in my opinion.
I have two. I have an older one, DDP. I know it wasn't necessarily his prime years, but I feel like he should have been a massive part of the WCW invasion angle, and instead he became some fucking weirdo stalking the Undertaker's wife, which was just weird. And then they started doing all this positively paid shit, which in hindsight is actually creepily accurate in terms of how his career turned out and what direction he went. But I feel he was so over, and the guy could go as well. And I feel like they wasted that big time then. But more recently, the main one I feel like they're wasting the prime years of is Roman Reigns, because the fucker never wrestles.
I don't like seeing him. He's always bored me. He bored me
sure
when I first got into
it. He bores me, but I'm sure he can go when he wants to, because I have seen him do some things where I'm like, oh, fucking hell, okay. But he just never wrestles, and he does fuck all. It's such a waste. But yeah, that was mine anyway. The next one we have, Aaron, is OC turning heel or staying face? I think we've already discussed that, haven't we? Yeah, I think he's turning. 100%. I think that's something that would make the kids cry.
Yeah. Fuck them
kids. Especially that one who's got a blade. Our good friend Mose says, what if the Hurt Syndicate are not the heels we think they are? That's interesting.
So what's he getting at here, though? What am I missing?
Well, maybe they're not heels. We're assuming they're heels, but what if there's more to it? What if they're actually, they have, different ambitions?
Well, I mean, we could do with some more faces in AEW, because
exactly
it's also about 70% heels, and 29 of the other 30% we've turned heel in the next 2 months today.
But to be fair, this question was last week, and I think with Lashley turning up in the way they've been since, I think they're definitely heels. Sorry about that one, man. I was a bit late. What else do we have? We have one or two more. The Beast More Toast. Why is it that AEW has multiple heel factions, but the face side always boils down to Team AEW or the conglomeration, which is basically Team AEW with a different name? That is so fucking right. It's true, isn't it? That is it.
Because faces, on the whole, are idiots.
He's fucking
faces are gullible idiots who believe people and get turned on and kicked in the dick and made to look stupid.
I've never thought about that. The conglomeration is Team AEW with just a name, isn't it? It basically is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you're right, because faces are gullible characters, and they're not as compelling, are they, as the heels in a group. You never have a group of guys that work well together, because obviously one will eventually turn heel and fuck everyone over.
The bad guys, they stick together because they're a bunch of cowards and they're bullies. That's why there's so many of them. They stick together guys on their own, because that's what the bad guys do, I suppose. But I'm just trying to think. So we've had the Elite being faces at certain points. I suppose the BCC were technically faces at some point. Or were they? Yeah, they were. They definitely were.
They moved in and out, didn't they? They
were twins.
Face. Yeah, it was whatever they needed to be.
Yeah. The conglomeration are the first bona fide
Yeah,
proper face fucking team, barring the elite spells as faces, I suppose, isn't they?
as far as I can think, yeah. I can't think of any.
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking hell, that's mad. I never thought about that. That's the
Wait,
answer.
wait, wait,
Anyway.
wait, wait. I'm thinking you were for a while. What they called Jericho's lot. They were faces for a while. When MJF turned on them,
They weren't really though, were they? Yeah, they weren't really faces though. They were kind of dickheads who were just hanging around with worse dickheads.
When MJF and that turned on the Pinnacle, the Pinnacle turned on the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle were definitely faces for a while.
Yeah, I suppose they were, weren't they? But like, I don't know. They weren't ever real big crowd favorite faces, were they? They were more like, you know,
they were faces by proxy because there were worse guys they were feuding with.
The best friends. That was probably a good face group until Trent fucked them over.
Yeah,
and ruined it. I can't think of any others.
No, I think we've probably covered all of them.
Yeah, that's how depressing it is, isn't it? I think that's it in the questions, though. Beast Mode Talk was just asking what we think on a stable situation as well. Or do we think he's overreacting? That was in response to his previous question there, but I don't think he is overreacting. No. He's right. No. He's absolutely spot on there, especially with his pointing out the conglomeration basically is just the same team AEW, because it's virtually the same team we've had when we have a team AEW, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. They're going to need one anyway now. They're going to need a fucking stable now if we're going to get this faction warfare kicking in.
Mm.
So hopefully the Elite come back eventually at some point, or Bryan Danielson comes back and rallies the troops. We'll see what happens. I think we're done. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say?
I just hope we have a fourth successive week of good TV and no one telling me that I shouldn't be enjoying it, because it's been good fun. AEW's on a good roll at the moment, despite what other people might try and tell you. The TV's been really good for the last few weeks, and let's hope that continues this week. It will. Dynamite looks great. Collision's already got most of the cards sorted out, and again, Mariah May and Anna, that'll be a bloodbath, I think. And yeah, it's a good time to be an AEW fan and a good time to be on Blue Sky.
What about you, Brett?
Yeah, perfect segue. Blue Skies are ahead, not just for AEW, but for the internet wrestling community. You know, if anyone deserves to lose a major population of their social media app, it's Elon Musk. He deserves little to no joy in life for more than one reason. Yeah, like I said, man, Blue Sky is where it's at. If you're not there already, check us out.
Fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah, fuck Elon Musk. But that's it, lads. Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. And our old episodes are on YouTube, or they're being uploaded as we try and move to YouTube, or not move, but kind of...
As we grow and expand and take over the fucking world.
We're migrating. We're evolution.
That's the best. Yeah, we're migrating to YouTube slowly. So the old episodes are coming up each week, as well as the new episode. They'll at some point meet in the middle, and we will have our entire catalogue on YouTube if, for some bizarre reason, you want to listen to an old episode where we talk shite. And that's it. Thanks for listening. Catch you next week. Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.